I do believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me once again on another conscious evolution. Today's whole stream topic is going to be specifically about how the dreams of the past have become our present. And then, as an extension, how it's up to us to now continue dreaming, right? I feel like it's a little bit hard for us these days to dream about better futures when we are so caught up in what's happening in the present moment. And yet, I still believe in that, right? Like, I think about it from the perspective of, like, if I had to go 100 years ago, if I had to be born 100 years ago, right? This version of me, the dreams I would have for the world, the technology I would hope, would have been developed, the access to information, etc., etc., etc. All of those dreams, right? As that version of me from 100 years ago, if he had to be supplanted right here, right now, all of those dreams would have come to reality, right? He would literally live in his dream world. And finding ourselves here, we can take this as like a foundation for us to now dream about the future going forward. Dream on, baby. Yeah, dream on. Continue dreaming, friends. Don't give up. Let me open chat. I already see you friends joining me. It's so nice seeing all of your names. We have a Shannon and Nana, Joy Vive too, Brother Duck Dad. I'll dream about you all. How is your little one doing, Brother Bear? I've been thinking about you a lot, man. Can't imagine how hard it must be. I hope she's feeling a little bit better by now. Don't dream about me, that's creepy. I'm dreaming about you right now, Joy Vive. Dreaming about a world where Joy Vive is happy, where her kitties are healthy, right? It's only creepy if you make it creepy. It can be hopeful if you want it to be hopeful as well. Jaziel, sending you blessings, friend. Nancy joining us too. Of course, Duck Dad, Who Needs Tears, blessings to you. Shan, it went okay. Had to leave earlier than we wanted to, but she slept most of the way. Good. High fever, sore throat, and tummy bug. Hey, Louisiana, blessings to you too. Thank you for blessing us with your loving messages. I'm like thinking to myself how, even though it's bad, right, it sucks that our kids can get sick. Uh, her T cells are also, getting software updates essentially. Chauvin. Chauvin is being like, yeah, what's up? Who wants some bless? Ricky F. Ricky F is like, yeah, hit me up. Hit me up with that membership. You go, Ricky. Thank you for joining us too, dude. I don't think I've seen your username before. Blessings to you. Thank you for, through our beloved Jovan, becoming a member as well. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Yeah, Nancy, also a member now. Blessings to you, friend. Like, I'm instantly now I'm giddy. Nice. Nice. Where was I going? Dreaming? Dreaming. Yeah, dreaming. Dreaming about a good future for all of us. Right? If this isn't allowing you some capacity to dream about a better future, then hot diggity damn. I don't know what will. Joe out here with the the membership fairy, right? Isn't it nice? Truly blessing us. This community, me. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. It really is a blessing. Everybody in chat go, you rock, Jovan. It's so cool. So fantabulous. Jobot beep boop. I don't know if the friends know, but there's a button that you can press. If you're not a member yet, now you can press button and then you become member. There's still 3 slots, I think. At least that's the way I think it works. Shan, flowers was at my car to help me unpack like an hour. Oh, that's so cute. The bunny kind of giving you some support. I'm like thinking about holding space and support at the same time. Blessings. So much love. Jovan, thanks. Jovan is the best though. Yeah, she is. So much love. Get loved back, Jovan. So poor thing. I'm glad that she wasn't getting sick on the way home. That is at least, a silver lining. I hope she gets better soon. Sending her healing energies. Bless. Sam. Joe did membership giveaway. Damn, again. Again, right? Part of me wants to feel bad about it, where I'm like, no, Joe, don't give me money. And then at the same time, I don't want to make less what she's doing, right? I don't want her to even feel for a second that, oh, I shouldn't have done that. No, Thank you for blessing us. There it is. The Hosanna is always also one now. Thank you. No, you. No, you. Okay. Let me see if I can gather myself because I am unironically melting right now. I just feel blessed being able to be in these moments with you, friends. What future are you dreaming about? Right? That's the question that I feel like asking. What future are you dreaming about? I feel like the future we dream about is one of love, you know, again, where people have food to eat, have places to sleep, have energy, have healthcare, have community. Right? That's what we're dreaming about. Right now, technically, if like for instance, if this version of me had to dream that reality 100 years ago, is a beautiful Burby. Weirdly enough, as I was setting my stream up, I was seeing this Burby jump around and I was thinking like that's Jo blessing me with her energy. I don't know if you can see it. Can you? Yeah, I think you can. A little red-bellied Burby. Hey, you Burby. There it goes. Look at it. Nice and close. Okay. 100 years ago, if I had to have the dream of, people have housing, people have food to eat, people have energy, healthcare, communities. That dream is more realized now than it was 100 years ago, right? And to project into the future again, 100 years from now, I would be shocked if it wasn't even more of the reality. So many blessings. Thank you, friends. I think there's still 2 memberships left. Why aren't you claiming it, Shan? What's stopping you? Can you see it? Are you enjoying being yourself, Melt? That's a good question. No is the first answer that I want to say, actually. Right? I feel like being myself as of late has been a little bit much. Like I'm not giving myself a break when it comes to what I'm thinking about. Right? I was going through this whole like mental trip of painting a picture, as like a very easy few words to say to kind of like sum up something I was imagining. I was thinking about like frameworks, like ways of being, the way we kind of interact with this reality, and trying to simplify it into something like a user interface. And I was thinking to myself, how are you supposed to try and distribute that? And it was putting me in this space of mind where I start being rough on myself because I don't have the skills right now to do all of those things. Right? And yet I'm dreaming. I guess that's the thing that I'm supposed to be reminding myself of. Right? I feel like I have to actively be okay with myself as well. And weirdly enough, it's strange that you asked that question exactly, Joy Vive. Tomorrow's stream topic is going to actually be that. It's a concept, from Nietzsche, where he was talking about shame, where he believes that the bad person is the person that shames, and the good person is that which, or he which, she which saves other people of shame, right? Takes away that feeling of shame. And that shame, there can be good shame and there can be bad shame, where good shame is paying attention to your actions and then deciding, this is not who I want to be, right? And then there's bad shame, where this is not who I am, is not who I'm supposed to be, right? And there's a difference. It's a small difference, but there's a difference still. And I feel like that's where I'm kind of like stuck a little bit as of late, Joy. Like there's like a gap that I'm trying to close between who I want to be and who I am right now. And I feel like it's a process. Or how about you? How about you, Joy? Do you like being yourself? Is that the you like being yourself? Yeah, do you like being yourself, Joy? Do let me know. Okay, this is definitely the thing we're saying. It goes, what will you teach yourself and therefore make true for you? To not be ashamed of myself, to not be ashamed of who I am, to not be ashamed of my current place in the world, to not be ashamed of what I'm trying to do, to not be ashamed of the way I am, right? My nature in and of itself. Begin to cultivate the deliberate practice of recognizing that you are in a field of energy that is your perfect servant. My parents coming back? Yeah, it's my ma. Nice. What is this moment for? What do I decree this moment to be? What do I most want to learn by teaching it? For to teach is to demonstrate. To demonstrate is to express what you have decided will hold the greatest value for you. And today, the thing I'm trying to teach is dream. Dream. Dream a good life about yourself, a good life about our future, a good world. You know, there is hope still. There is actually hope still. Let me see. I still think there are gifts to be claimed. I feel like I'm tripping out about it right now. That kid powered through hiding her sick from us and still managed to have a blast. She had an amazing vacation with her cousin that she doesn't get to see. They're the same age, bless. How far away is her little cousin living? Sucks that we don't get to connect more, you know, because of space and because of traveling costs. So many memories. Maybe I'll do a stream soon for some of the cool stuff. Please do. That would be nice. Jovan rocks every day, 365. Nice, Duck. Exactly. I'm glad you had a good time. I forgot the heart. I'll try again. You're doing perfect, Loizana. Are you enjoying? I was going to say, I dream about a certain someone going to prison, but that melt got all of the lovely vibes. I'm guessing that's like a cultural thing. Hey, what country you from? Catherine, I'm still from South Africa. At least that's what they tell me it is, right? It's South Africa. Been living here my whole life. I had a hiatus for a while, and I was grateful to come back. This country has a lot of potential. It's not perfect. Oh goodness, is it not perfect? But it's not all bad, right? And I feel like that's the thing that we have to remind ourselves of as well. Is that yeah, there is a lot to be changed. There's a lot of things that are deserving of our criticism, essentially. But don't be that critical of yourself as well, right? Allow yourself to dream because dreaming in and of itself can be a little bit unrealistic, right? I had this conversation with my parents a few days ago where, hallo mama, welkom terug. Ek het nog nie die beskuit uit die pan uitgehaal. Ek het 'n dog gaan vir 7 uur vanaand doen. Ek weet jy gaan terug wees, né? Maar die beskuit gebak. En maar weet, ek mama, welkom terug. Mama's back. I'm tripping out right now. I was going to say, I think again, are you enjoying being home alone? Is what I mean. Oh, are you enjoying being by yourself? I like how Joy kind of like has this like running joke where as soon as I stop misreading her comments, we'll have a better relationship, and it keeps happening over and over again. And then at the same time, I feel like that's exactly the way it's supposed to be, right? Where me misreading Joy's comment puts me down a spiral that makes me think a bunch of things, and I get to share from that perspective. I did enjoy being myself, right? Like I was listening to an interesting thing yesterday about, I think it's by Sisyphus 55, you know, a flower and a bee having a conversation about vulnerability, about wanting to be seen or wanting to have an audience, but not wanting to be seen, right? That you might be performing in a certain way, but not wanting to be seen in your true self. And I was like in that moment, just sitting by myself, right? I'm in a room with a piece of technology, having an experience. and I get to experience that, right? Like the stakes aren't as high. And they mentioned it in that video as well, about the stakes, the level of expectation that is kind of placed upon you just by having an observer, right, in the space with you. And it does change things, right? It changes things for my family because I tend to be a little bit countercultural to what they expect to be normal. And then being alone allows me a certain sense of freedom. I had a good time. I feel like it treated me well. Thank you, Joy V, for clarifying. I could see it. I'd rather just let another friend have it. Go! Go! Who needs tears? And Shan, you're here right now, and there are two gifts still to be claimed, right? Take reality. Take it onto yourself. Dream. Let yourself. Myself. That's all I can be. I like it or not. Myself is all I can be, like it or not. Man, I wasn't gonna talk about this today because I thought I was only gonna talk about it yesterday, but I'm feeling beloved Nietzsche as well. Talking about shame again, right? Shame of yourself. Having like they kind of like ran a little bit of an example, to give you some context, where a boy, born to this world, sensitive individual, likes painting, likes creating work, is intuitive, and has a little bit more of a soft relationship to the world. And his mother kept comparing him to his older brother, who was working out, getting buff, being a strong person, etc., etc. And she was comparing him to this older, stronger brother, telling him, "Yeah, you should be more like your brother. You should be more masculine. You shouldn't be a little sissy boy." Nah, 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 nah. Right? And that, as a reference, becomes this experience of questioning yourself, right? This version that you were meant to be. They were talking about it from the perspective of like an oak tree or an acorn, right? Like an acorn has the potential to become this beautiful tree. And if it doesn't have the right conditions, if it doesn't have the right soil, doesn't get enough water, doesn't get sunlight, it will never become what it's meant to be, right? And that is technically true freedom. And I feel, unfortunately, many of us are having our freedoms taken from us because we think there's something wrong with us intrinsically, right? That we find ourselves as the self we are, whether we like it or not, while at the same time letting the world kind of decide whether we are likable or not. And I'm trying to attach it to this idea of dreams. You know, maybe we can all collectively dream about a world where we're a little bit less critical of people. Like as of late, when I look at myself, I try to, at the same time, see who I am, right? When it comes to my skills, when it comes to the things I want to do in this world, when it comes to the things I can do in this world, right? Trying to almost like train myself to see more than just the face that is staring back at me. And I think about it from the perspective of someone who can, for instance, weirdly enough, do game design, right? Like someone who can build beautiful games where people can participate within. And if you look at the person's face, none of that complexity, none of that depth is present just looking at their face. And yet it's still a part of them, right? It is who they are, and trying to get to that core of my own being and the core of other people's being and trying to just celebrate them for the way that they are and for the way that they're showing up. These were my mind's going. Thank you, Joy, for taking me there. Maybe we'll still end up talking about it, maybe not. Zano just put a picture in general in Discord. A specific one? Am I supposed to check it out? Let me see. What picture are we gonna see? Hey, Duck Dad with his beloved family. So many blessings to you. I think I see Zano's. There she is, all beautied up with her sunflower dress. Like I wanna show her, like pridefully being like, look at how beautiful our Zano is. And then I feel Zano being like, don't you fucking dare do that. So if you want to see how beautiful Zano is, go and check in Discord. Those nails though, they make me they concern me at the same time they make me happy. Right? Because I exercise and stuff, I see that as a logistical nightmare. Right? Like one of the exercises I do, I ball my fists and then I drive my knuckles into the ground, when I'm doing push-ups. And I'm just imagining those nails embedding in my flesh. I don't know why. Please stop imagining it. Fiery purple. It's super sick. Thank you, Joy V, for letting us celebrate her as well. Every thought we think is creating our future. Dream them good dreams. Indeed. Love is true. Who needs tears? Thank you for reminding us as well. I dream of a world where there's no judgment, violence, racism, and bully, so that we have the confidence within each person to stand out. But I don't know how it will turn out because there's no bad anymore. Like there's no balance. I do think the layers or the lines are getting blurred a little bit right now. Right? I feel like a part of becoming a global civilization comes a lot of unknowns. And at the same time, like I'm feeling into Brother Joe Schmo's heart, him mentioning that he's been kind of like dealing with a bunch of difficulty, just paying attention to what's happening in the world, especially if we look at the amount of wildfires happening right now and the way that the government is responding to it. We were having a conversation about that as well during the yoga. And the way that I see it is that moment by moment, we are learning lessons about what it is we want going into the future, and depending on how we respond to these type of things, how we respond to human suffering is going to determine the future we get to live in. And even though the government's response might be one way, people are responding in another, right? People are doing everything in their power to try and help one another. And that's the true power that I see us all cultivating right now, where we realize there is no help outside of our communities, outside of the ones that we have around us, outside of the support structures that we have within one another. Because that is technically what a government is supposed to be, right? It's a group of people who are supposed to represent the needs of our species, of humanity. And they're falling short right now, right? They're falling a little bit short, and it's going to be up to us to actually, change that. Man, I'm tripping out about those gifts. They're just like laying there, two of them, right? Like I'm actually, it's causing me turmoil right now, where I'm like, I imagine the stream ending and them going unclaimed, and it driving me insane for the rest of the day. Now, please, if you're here right now, go and claim membership. I feel like pretty much everyone in chat is member right now. Thanks to Jovan. Blessings again. Okay. Every thought, love is true. Thank you, Giselle. Duckling's cousin is only 45 minutes drive away, but it's just hard to get them together because they have different schedules. Yeah, we're going to aim to be getting them together once a month or so. Bless. I think that's good. Mel will always read my and Joy's comments the totally opposite way of our intent. Mine is because I spell like a child. Love is true. I read your friends' comments, from a place of love either way. I still see it. I don't know how to claim membership. So if you scroll up, who needs tears? I can't see it anymore. Aw. Yeah, now it's gone. Yay. Fuck. You can, or at least I can still scroll up, and then there's a button that goes, you could be a lucky recipient of Meltmore's membership with access to exclusive perks, allow gifts. And yeah, I guess now it's in the void. So it be, these things happen. Hey, seeing Heather in chat. Blessings to you, friend. It's nice having you here again. I think you click on the green banner, scroll up. Maybe it's still possible. I hope that you can make it happen, Duck. I love playing with my cousin when I was little. Family is important. Me too, Joy. Me too. I had this cousin called Vimpy. I mean, I still have him. Hey, Gary Lee, one loving us as well. Blessings to you. I had this cousin called Vimpy, and he was about the same age as me. Like, I think maybe 2 years older. And every single time I would go to my grandma's place, I feel like this is, I don't know if it's mean to say this, but I would look more forward. Gary just claimed membership. Yeah, he did. Blessings. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate you showing up in that way, bro. Every single time I would go to grandma's place, I would hold this hope that Vempi would be there as well. I'm official. Yes, you are. Look at that pillar of light, standing next to your name right now. Thank you again, Joe. How does that thing determine who gets a membership? I think it just people choose, right? It's self-elected. You have to be like, yes, me. Yes, me, I want to. Yes, I can dream about this reality where I am a member as well, And sometimes we don't. And I understand that as well. Sometimes we think, we're not worth it. I'm tripping out. I feel like my mind is so spazzed out right now. I want to go and talk to my mom, ask them about what's been going on. My sister wanted to go and dance. So they went to some sort of dancing place yesterday. My dad was also there apparently. He sent me a voice note telling me that he's also getting danced into being tired. I feel like all of this is connecting me to the same fractal of connecting with family. Man, Vempi is married now. He's working his job. He has a wife. He's only a few years older than me. Feels like there's just this divergent thing happening in my mind, where we have different goals for life. And being able to experience that time with them allowed me to become who I am as well right now. Cousins. Family is important. I couldn't echo that more, Jaileef. And it's not doing anything. I don't know if all of them have been claimed now. Maybe. I think there still might be one left. Maybe there's still one left. Anyway. I love watching younger kids hang with family and cousins. The bonding is just wonderful. We want to connect with other human beings. I feel like them being cousins is more a familiarity thing, right? Because every single time you show up for this family event, here you have this friend, essentially, right? Because it's just friends. That's technically what they are. And because you get to see them over and over again, that familiarity, breeds a certain level of connection, And I'm thinking about how it's unfortunate that we only get those kind of moments, by going to family events or whatever. Joy, I don't know what it's like. I've never had a cousin and I didn't care much for my little. I feel like there was supposed to be more to that. I'm doing my best to give her my little one, I'm guessing. I'm doing my best to give her a different fractal despite it being on the side that we excommunicated. Yeah. It is hard, right? Drawing these lines about who we believe is supposed to be a part of our lives and who we believe is going to actually have a good impact, right? Because that really is what it's about. I think about it from the perspective of you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? And then from that perspective, being aware enough to choose whether or not you want your family to be exposed to a certain fractal and then choosing not to. Who else's play? Sky in here. I actually went and typed it into Steam. Apparently the game isn't available yet, Ali. So I tried. They were like, nah, fam. You could wishlist the game, but you can't play it. Me too. Hey, Shell. Blessings to you, friend. It's nice having you here. Melt, if you see this, do you think there's a difference between dreaming and manifesting? I feel like they find themselves in the same camp, right? Where if the words we use are almost like little buckets of meaning that we, contain in our minds. I feel like manifesting in dreams can be in some ways synonymous, right? For instance, if I say I dream of a world where, you know, people serve one another, or if I say I manifest a world where people serve one another, I feel like the one might be a little bit softer and the other one might have a little bit more oomph behind it. But I don't think they're mutually exclusive, right? Because a lot of the dreams that I have, weirdly enough, the dreams I had last night, I woke up from this experience of forgiveness. That was like the thing that was placed on my heart, where it's like forgiveness, 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 letting go, especially of the painful moments, especially again, right, of people who have wronged us, especially when it's family. It's so hard. It's so hard. But the way that I've been reminding myself about what forgiveness means is you're not forgiving people making what they did right, right? You're not being like, okay, whatever you did, that's okay. No, that's not actually what forgiveness is. You are forgiving that pain inside of yourself about the injustice and holding hope, right? Dreaming. Again, bringing it back to today's stream topic, dreaming about a reality where it actually can be better, where it can be different, not holding on to the way that it is. Again, we were like starting today's stream topic with that perspective that right now, the way that things are, it's hard to dream about a better world, right? Because there's a lot to be worried about, right? And if you're so worried about what's going to happen the next year, the next 5 years, how are you supposed to dream about a better future in 100 years from now, right? It's almost like we are being robbed of that ability to have hope for the future. And I feel like it happens in the same way within our family dynamics as well, where someone might display a certain type of behavior that robs us of the hope for our entire future with that person. And I feel like that's something we have to be aware of. Maybe that's just what's supposed to be said, just for us to think about it. Thank you, Nancy, for asking. Oh, I love dancing. I've never been dancing with friends, with family though. I've been at like that last time where we had like that party at my family's house. That was the first time I properly danced with family. That was good fun. I really enjoyed that. I tapped on the thing. I don't know what's happening. Many cousins didn't see. I always cried when they had to leave. Same. I remember that my one uncle would joke about taking me with him, and I was like, kind of like down for it. I was like, yeah, do take me with you. I want to go and hang out with my cousin all the time, alas. Watching my nephews be best friends of cousins is the cutest thing ever. The love is so palpable. True. I'm going to put a picture in general for you guys that have art love. That is a giant set of stairs at the beach in Michigan, and every year they paint it in a new way. This year's butterflies, of course. I'm not even surprised. I lost Shell 888 Discord ID. Now I'm Shell quadruple eight. Now I'm Shell 888. I'm sorry to hear that you lost that name. I'm happy that you created a new one nonetheless. Me too. They exist, but I have no relationships with my extended family. The unique thing is, we don't always have control over who stays in our lives. That is a good point to make, actually, Heather. Right? The fact that there is a pull on every single one of us. Right? And at least in my mind, what I'm thinking right now is, again, in context of dreams, right? What we dream about is inevitably what we'll end up manifesting, right? Because that's what we're being pulled towards. And I feel right now, for a lot of us, the dream that we're sold is one of material wealth, right? One where you have stuff, so much stuff, more stuff than you know what to do with, kind of vibe, where, and I like to bring like the extreme into it. If we could suddenly Thanos snap all other people off the earth, de facto, you get all the stuff. right? Now suddenly all the stuff, literally the entire planet, is solely yours. Everything. Do you want that? Right? In comparison to actually wanting people to share it with. And then again, thinking about how all of us have this pull on us, and then just noticing, how when it comes to the material, that pull can be different for every single one of us, right? Like the home you want to end up living in, the vehicle you want to drive, the family dynamic you want to have, etc., etc. By dreaming about a certain reality that is mutually exclusive or separated from the rest of your family, you'll be pulled towards that reality, and that might inevitably pull you away from the ones that want to be spending time with you. And like it hurts me to imagine to how many people that's happening without them even realizing it. Right? They're being dragged in a certain direction, but they don't know where they're going, kind of vibe. It's on Switch and iOS. Oh, I'm still waiting for it to come out on PC. I'm a PC gamer myself. The Aurora concert is back. It's incredible. I'm getting FOMO right now. You got to see the concert, Ellie. I loved it so much. I did. It was beautiful. So much love. You friends are making me happy. Many channels are not relaxing to watch or participate in as of late, sharing all of the frightening and not so pleasant info about the US failing currency, economic distress, some shortages to come. It makes me too anxious to listen repeatedly to those things. Yeah, I agree, Heather. It's disheartening to hear these things. And me, at least that's what I hope for, right? Like I was writing about it in my journal again today. I do want to bring hope into this world, right? That's why I show up every day. And even though I feel I am also affected by the state of the world, I do want to play this role of someone who shares hope, right? And again, all of these things, as you just mentioned, the US failing currency, the economic distress, the shortages to come, all of these things can be seen as lessons, right? Because we are adaptable as a species, right? Like we have faced significantly worse, right? We have, unironically, went through entire, economic collapses, and yet here we still are, right? There were still people who ended up dreaming about a better world, even after the worst happened to them. And I don't think we're ever going to get close to that level of the worst, but at the same time, I see it as, and I feel like this is again insensitive, but as a good thing, right? The amount of bullshit we're seeing right now can be, at least conceptually, seen as a good thing because it reminds us painfully sometimes about what we don't want to see, right? As you mentioned, seeing these things, it doesn't make you feel good, right? And we have a negativity bias due to survival, right? We have this need to try and be prepared, and exposing ourselves to potentially negative information. We can justify it by being like, oh, if I am aware of the negative information, then surely I can prepare myself more. But when it comes to these type of issues, there is no true preparing yourself for it. And then to bring it back to today's stream topic, the way that I believe we prepare for it truly is by dreaming about a better world, right? Not from a place of apathy, not from a place of surrender, but from a place of deep hope, right? That surely things do change. Like all of us know that, right? And what is more likely, that things are going to keep failing indefinitely, or that things are going to ebb and flow like they always have, where we go through difficulties, the difficulties prepare us, mentally, conceptually, problem solving, as a means to fight these problems. And then we create stability or a sense of balance in our lives. And then that sense of balance leads to us feeling good about things again, being like, oh, things are great, and then things being great maybe allows us to kind of like step back a little bit, reduce the amount of tension we feel about what we're supposed to be doing. And then that ends up making things worse again. And it really is this ebb and flow. And fortunately, if you look at the statistics as well, that ebb and flow is slowly tending upwards. And dreaming that it's going to continue that way. Your dad sending you a voice note about dancing until he's being tired like you is so incredibly heartwarming. It really was. I thanked him and I sent him love. I'm happy that he had a good time. There's a snake right next to me right now. What snake is it? Right. Instantly, my mind goes to paging through my little book of snakes. I have a book that has like snakes in it. And then if I find the picture of the snake, there's like a little badge that says whether or not it'll kill me if I pick it up. And if that badge says it won't kill me if it bites me, I can pick that snake up. Be like, yeah, we're snake. I don't know if you'll do that, Shan, but I hope the snake is chill. Friendly snake? I'm hoping so. Nope, I just know it's snake. It's snaking. I don't watch the news anymore. I think that's good, actually, Ali. I think, if anything, it makes our problems worse because people see all the doom and gloom and act accordingly. Fear is a powerful thing and it can be blinding. I've been fighting fear in myself as of late, interestingly enough, Ali. A lot, right? I like actively feel this fear arising in me. And then I'm like, bruh, what are you on about? Like, actually asking yourself, what are you on about? Right? And there he is, Joe Schmo, you bringing into this world the miracle that is you, Brett the Bear. I was talking about you a little bit earlier, feeling into your heart, man. Woo! This world. So exciting. So exciting, right? That's the way I'm trying to think about it right now. I feel like it's again insensitive to think of the amount of bullshit that's happening as, oh, it's exciting, right? Because that's me trying to dissociate from the amount of pain that's being experienced by our collective. And I'm not having a panic attack. Go me! Congratulations, Shad. I'm proud of you. Little snakes are just snacking, you know. They want to live their little lives as well. They look for food. Maybe they find themselves close to your home. Content on TV is driven by ad revenue. Yeah. What's going to get people to come back over and over again? You know, and fear is one of the best things to get people coming back because, oh, I need to go and check if I should still be scared. Oh, I'm still, okay, good. I'm scared about this new thing now. Don't care for my little brother. I love my little one. Your little brother. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's hard. Part of me resonates with you, bro. I do get it. Ducklings, cousin, grandpa. Ducklings, cousin, grandpa. Okay. Is one of the most hate-filled, backwards people I have ever met. I will be dead in the ground before I let her spend time with him. Wife's dad, by the way. Yeah. Okay, good. Like, that comment broke my brain for a second, but I get it, dude. I'm thinking about Zano's dad, you know, in the same capacity as well right now. Like, so much confusion. I know what I've seen around me. Yeah, there are some shortages, but it's manageable. If we help each other, the currency thing ignores the fact that people adapt very fluidly. Money is and has always been an arbitrary system. It no longer works. People will move to something else. We've done it before and we'll do it again. Yeah, I don't know if money in and of itself needs to go away as it is right now. I just think it needs to change, right? Like, I feel, again, you know, universal basic income is like definitely, at least in my mind, a step in the right direction, right? Because as you as you beautifully said, Ali, money is arbitrary. Let's actually see. Hey Google, define arbitrary. Arbitrary, based on random choice or personal whim, rather than any reason or system, right? The fact that money has any value is because we agree it has value, right? That's why it has value, because all of us unanimously agree, oh yeah, this money thing has value. Where I believe, and this is the dream I keep sharing over and over again, and I'll keep sharing it until it's a reality, I hope that we move to a system where people is what we value, right? That in the same way, we base our reality on, are people being taken care of, right? Instead of having a GDP as like, oh yeah, our economy produced this much monies, this year. We should have a system that basically, takes into account how many people have housing, how many people have food, how many people have access to the medical services they need, how many people have access to meaningful communities, right? And then figuring out if we can create some sort of number on that. And then being able to like tout that, being like, yeah, this year, quality of life went up 2%. 2% more people have housing, 5% more people had food, to secure, themselves, during their winter or whatever, right? And like being able to kind of like make these our systems, the way we see ourselves as successful human beings, right? The way we see our economies as successful. Because right now it's industry, right? It's like how many things get made and how many people spend money on thing, right? That's how we create value right now. And even though that value system, and I was like thinking about this last night trying to go to sleep, I was like thinking about how that has allowed for a lot of progress, right? Again, when it comes to the dreams, it allowed us to realize a lot of the dreams we had in the past. But now, having realized those dreams, we're supposed to dream something new for ourselves, right? That sure, having had the dream of these cool technological devices, having had the dream of computers that we can fit inside our pockets, eventually inside our brains, we're there. Here we are. We've done it. Now what do we dream, right? What reality do we dream about now from this point onward? Melty, you were talking about me. I feel honored. We love you, bro. And I feel your heart, man. Unfortunately, I still do watch the news. I do, right? And I get super bummed out about it. And then I'm like, I'll fight you, bummed out feeling, kicking it to the ground. And I was paying attention to what's happening in Hawaii right now. And I'm paying attention to how the government, handles that when it comes to funding. And I'm paying attention to how these real estate developers are like literally trying to snatch people's burnt up houses up, being like, oh yeah, your house just got burnt down. How about you sell it to me? And then like my eyebrows raising, being like, the fuck is happening here now? And what's happening? Are we paying attention to what's happening right now? Is this the world we dreamed about? Right? Is this the world our our past people dreamed about? And then again, right? If we're in some sort of fever dream right now, choosing to try and redirect it. And like just feeling the outrage you must be feeling as well, Brother Bear, and holding your heart despite it. I made another IRL friend yesterday at the gym. What's that necklace? My guru gave it to me. Do you like numbers? I like 888 and 4477 and tears. He started crying. I feel like I'm missing some context. I'm happy that you made a new friend. That's the thing I'm gonna focus on. Hello and good morning, loved ones. I believe that each and every single one of you will bear witness to the infinite beauty that unfolds during seemingly common occurrences. Stay awake, my friends. Joe Schmo. Thank you for manifesting, dreaming about that world with us, man. One thing history teaches us is that there's no real ending. Yeah, that's my favorite lesson of history, right? And still, for some reason, people seem to be believing, and I feel like, and this is me being a little bit more rebel, the Christian doctrine, unfortunately, does try to supplant this idea inside people's heads that there is this end point, right? That it's linear, that there's gonna be this thing that happens and then everything's gonna be done and then nothing and then the next whatever, right? Where if you pay attention to how these things work, none of it works like that, right? Like surely when a massive asteroid or comet, hit our oceans and sent kilometer waves over our entire planet, to that state of reality, to them dinosaurs, that was like, oh, that is a lot of water and mud coming my way right now. To them, the world is over, right? That's an apocalyptic event. And yet, from that catastrophe, other things dreamed about a world after. And because they dreamed about a world after, here we are. If there was for a second this like, oh, I guess things are over, everything just falls dead to the ground, nothing would be. right? Nothing would have even started to be. There is, for some reason, this underlying complexity that keeps bringing up this experience, right? This need, this want to experience in so many different ways. I've been tripping myself out a lot as of late about molecules, right? Like every single thing I use in my day to day, I try to think of it as the molecules that makes it up as well. Right? I don't know if that's beneficial for my own mind, but I try to be painfully aware. For instance, right? If you had to string, I think it's about 500 mils. It might be a liter, right? If you had to string all of the water molecules that is in this glass back to back to back to back to back, it would be half a light year that I'm holding in my cup right now, right? I just think about that. Half a light year of distance of water molecules that I just slurp up, you know? And that scale to things is the thing that kind of like been messing with me a little bit. How do we get people out of their own way, right? Realizing just how fantastical this world already is, and then teach them how to celebrate that part of humanity. You want come on my lap? You puppy? Okay. Yes, Ali, I remind myself of this often. It could be worse and it will get better. Yes, I have the ability to make it through because I hear one more person tell me, we're fucked, I can't. Yeah, we're not, right? Not even close to it. And if you had to compare, right? Like, and I know comparison is the thief of joy, but we can also compare and feel hope. We can be like, yeah, for the longest time, human beings didn't know that their tomorrow was promised, right? They didn't know that they have enough food for tomorrow. They didn't know what they would be able to feed their children. And some people are struggling with that exact same reality right now. But we have the systems in place to actually take care of people. We just have to make it a priority. You want to sit on my lap? If no one told you today, I love you, you are worthy of love, and you are the embodiment of love and grace. Remember your own divinity, my loved ones. It's good to be reminded. You are worthy, right? Don't ever, ever let the difficulty of this space, of this world, of this circumstances we find ourselves in right now, take that away, right? Because it is self-elected, something that you choose to remember actively. And sometimes the world will try to convince you otherwise, and then you have to bring yourself back to love is true. Love is true. I like those numbers too. Me too. I have a broad historical perspective. We're going to go through change. Humans ride the waves of change. We'll be okay. Keep denying the separation. Yes. Kind of mind-boggling that they use cable news/TV to scare the shit out of us, saying that we are broke and starving. In my opinion, cable TV is the first thing to go always, let alone in a recession. Yeah, the internet is better, right? It's just better. It's exponentially better, right? Like having, what's the word I'm looking for? Programmed television. That's what they call it, right? Programmed. They're like unironically trying to both program themselves into some sort of structure and program you into that same kind of structure. And the internet is just opening that tap, being like, "Oh, actually, infinity," because that's closer to reality than the media we've been fed, forced fed through our TVs. Probably talking about crazy swamp monsters. No, we're talking about fire. They should definitely be a metric for success as a country: housing, food, water, mental health, physical health. Exactly, right? And it's not like I'm like, oh, revolutionary, like this is like very simple shit that we all kind of can agree on, being like, maybe make more money is not as important as, are people happy, right? Are people killing themselves in droves? Yes, maybe what's happening right now is less than ideal then, despite, because that's the joke, right? Like if we had to look at the lines and we look at, the amount of suicides versus the GDP growth, and we're like, oh, wow, oh, GDP is going up, but also people are unironically killing themselves because they can't bear to live in this world, right? Like, what are we applauding? What are we actually applauding, right? And is it okay for us to be that desensitized, to that reality? I feel angry and hurt about the microaggression the government imposes on individuals. That's why we have to deny the separation. It's happening, right? Like, I feel it's a matter of like awakening, where all of these experiences is giving us room to question. Where for the longest time we were kind of locked in a certain box, especially with TV as well, especially with our small communities. We were only exposed to a certain set of information, especially a certain set of information that was deemed appropriate for you to be exposed to. And now the internet has opened those floodplains, right? Like we, and I like this fractal, we as the people connected to the internet have become the central nervous system of our planet, right? That's here as well. And that's going to change the way that we see the world. It's going to change the things that we actually value, because we don't care if GDP goes up, if people aren't being taken care of. It does not matter to us, and we're getting to see it ourselves day by day. I also feel people helping each other out on the ground. That's what I look for, exactly. Everything organic is scared of becoming obsolete. I don't know what that means. They should be scared. Live broadcasters are the next thing to go with the AI revolution. I don't actually think so. I think it's going to be still a symbiosis, right? Where technically there is going to be room for people to just put themselves in like an AI loop, where you can technically connect a BCI to your brain that kind of like registers how you are registering to a certain set of information. And depending on how you're responding to the set of information, the content that you're watching can change. To give you like a little bit more of a tangible example, maybe you're watching a TV show, right? And in this TV show, you resonate more strongly with one of the characters. That system can pick up the fact that you're resonating more strongly with that character, and then rewrite the story to make that character play a larger role, right? To succeed in some way, to be faced with new challenges. And then you can learn through that experience. And that's probably going to happen, more likely than not, where people are going to lock themselves in their own content cycles. But we still do like doing things together, right? And we do value other people's experiences. So I think there's going to be room for live broadcasters to basically share their fractal of other people as well. And there's going to be like a whole community, type of experience built on that as well. On the last note of news, I think, is that the sooner we stop letting the media scare us and divide us and magnify only the bad, the better we'll all be. We need to know facts, not fear. Exactly. I have a hard time believing any broadcast anymore these days. The world is a stage, and how Carnival has become a playground for every flavor of crazy. I'm reluctant about info these days. I know my feet still touch earth. Yeah, right? Wherever you go, there you are. If you feel lost right now, realize that you'll find yourself here. And then every single time you feel yourself being like, what the fuck? And then be like, oh yeah. That's why I keep recommending meditation, right? It teaches you something about reality. It teaches you something about yourself. It shows you that there is this experience, a deep, meaningful experience to be had without stimuli, right? Without all of this ceaseless bombarding of your senses. Yes, necessary things, Ali. Apparently the UN had a meeting where the United States was the only country who did not vote food a necessity, right? I want to spit in the person's face that goes, that thinks to themselves, is food the actual nutrients that keeps the people alive? The people that are filling your pockets, right? Is that a necessity? And then being like, no, if I make food a necessity, that means I can't make money from the food I sell them, rubbing their fucking grimy little hands. I'm getting triggered. The UN is doing some good stuff as of late, right? That again gives me hope, right? I feel like the European countries got to experience the true depth of war and depravity and suffering, that they're actually like, yeah, no, right? The whole replaceable batteries that's coming to our devices as well right now because of the UN's ruling gives me hope, gives me so much hope. There is still room for improvement. There is space for us to dream about a better future. I know that my animals and my humans still feel like home. I'm skeptical about the rest. Be skeptical, brother bear. Don't believe everything that people tell you, especially if it ruins your own experience, right? It's of utmost importance to pay attention to that. Casey, the US is a country founded by slavers for the purpose of tax evasion and further slavery. Food isn't considered a necessity when life isn't either. Yeah. Exploitation for the sake of exploitation, so we can keep exploiting people with the amount of exploited power we've gained. It's like a vicious cycle, running themselves into the ground, for the small percentage. I was actually grooving on the idea that the Romans had their empire sent a beautiful message to everyone they brought in. Water is a right, and we can bring it to you. We see the old Roman aqueducts, and they just like old bridges, they were actually delivering life, literally, right? And I feel like the new aqueducts is the internet, and we're putting it in space right now, right? That's the way I think of it. That's the hopeful part of myself, because through the internet, you can commoditize ideas and technology and progress, right? Like, think about that. If I somehow figured out a revolutionary new system or a new bacteria even, right? And I can sequence that bacteria. Like, let's imagine a type of bacteria that eats food waste and turns it into protein, right? That's like a rough example, and that's possible as well, right? Turns it into protein. Now, instead of me having to get that, as an individual person to the person next to me so that they can benefit from that technology as well, we can sequence the DNA of that thing and literally publish it to the internet. Suddenly, every single person in the world that has access to this internet gets to benefit from that progress as well, right? I was talking about this a few days ago, about how the corporate companies that are like patenting, good ideas, basically stuff that can help humanity, and being like, only mine, only I can profit from this forever, and I feel like that's an evil practice in and of itself as well. Information wants to be free, just to finish that fractal. We do need to know facts, not fear. What if, rather than broadcast the negativity, we broadcast tips, solution, encouragement? That's what we're doing. And I recommend that all of you friends are doing that. That is what I keep trying to say, Heather. Probably why I prefer IRL streaming, more reliable than scheduled program news. Exactly. You get to see a person instead of a robot, essentially. The news cycle keeps people hooked on their anger response. They get angry when they take in that media, and they view that as a positive input. If you were angry about the right shit, however, things would change. Agreed, Sam. And for me, it's just like it's a familiarity thing, right? People that get themselves locked into those negative loops do so because it's familiar. They know what they're supposed to do. They know what's expected of them with that whole fractal. It might not be right, might not be beneficial, but at least they know, right? It gives the ego a perspective of comfort. Oh, I'm angry again. I know what it's like to be angry. Angry. And then go about your day drinking, essentially, to feel not angry a little bit, only to be given more things to be angry about the next day. Loop, read, ponder, reread. I wish I could produce my own news channel that shares things like what Heather said about the UN meeting for the fact that there was a breathtaking immunotherapy to destroy brain cancer. Why won't you, Ellie? Like, when I read your friends saying stuff like this, like, you actually live in the world where you can do that, Ellie. For the first time in reality, you do. You live in the world where you can start a news channel. You do, right? You do. You live here right now. Like, you can share that news without a following, even if it only does something good for yourself, right? And realize that that is how it is. That you get to change the world the way that you want to. You just have to dream it possible, and then show up for that. Please, I beg of you, please. All right, that's what we need. That is what we need right now, Sam, right? I only watch Morning Joe because it's a discussion among scholars and experts led by mediators who are thoughtful. I've been thinking about it lately. I definitely got a search engine attached to my brain stem like Neuralink. I definitely get. You would be kind of cool, like auto knowledge. Yeah, it's true, right? That's what I'm looking forward to as well, you know. And I think of it again from a perspective of maximizing the amount of good we can do. 1111. Thank you, Shan. I'm on 75 close percent of my battery right now, right? Like again, if someone somewhere in the world learns a new skill, a new way of solving a problem, and then being willing to share that with their own interconnectivity with the whole network. And then anybody who wants to embrace that information can make it a part of their network and then gets to solve problems in their day-to-day lives, right? For example, maybe someone learns the exact right combination of things to say to their dad to make them feel okay, right? In whatever way, and then shares this little combination, and then you kind of getting that information, being like, oh, I can apply this information to say this to my dad to make him feel that sense of comfort. And then boom, you know, in a day, 50 million people have a better relationship with their dad, right? Just imagine what that could do for the world. The monkey paw grants you wish, you give the ad supported version of Nero Google. Again, I don't think of it as a bad thing. I don't think of it as a bad thing, Sam. That's the next step of our evolution, right? We're already doing that. When we come together as communities and we have conversations, we're already doing that, just in low bandwidth. And then there's loss, and then there's confusion, and you don't understand what the other person is saying or where they're coming from. And with these type of technologies, we can connect in a way we've never been able to before. And that is the point, right? We're here to connect with one another. Who's next? Is the plant poisonous to eat? Answer. The plant contains vitamin C and it can be used for rope. I like that thought. Exactly, dude. Because that in my mind is where it's heading, right? Like it's impossible unless you literally, and I keep saying this as well, you know, as like I don't know if it gives hope, but unless you implant, you know, a chip inside of your spine as well, and that spinal chip has like connections to your individual little, you know, digits, it's impossible to control you, right? Just think about how hard it is to control yourself on a day-to-day level, right? How hard it is to say no to a piece of cake, for example, right? And you think a piece of technology is going to be able to control you? Hell no. Unlikely, right? We can be swayed, and we are being swayed, and the current system is buy more things, and that's what we're being swayed towards. But if we can integrate to our technology, I feel the need to buy more things is going to, in large part, go away, right? And that's going to expect us to change how we see things, right? What we see as valuable. Because in my mind, it's going to go from, oh yeah, you know, I can make money by getting people to buy these things, to I can make money by empowering people to build better things, right? Not for me, but for their community. And then 50 years down the line, them having benefited their community helps them contribute to other, you know, families, helps those families contribute to, you know, their children, helps their children growing up in a way that's going to be a little bit more indicative of a positive future, right? It's like the dream stacking almost, us stacking towards a better future by dreaming that it is possible. Where does the item go? General loot or food box? Ellie, the Democracy Now, or Amy Goodman? Spacing. I'm afraid to wish for anything now, Sam. She covers stories that the mainstream media doesn't. There we go. It's all about how I better communicate with my host planet. Exactly. Because again, the internet is the Earth's central nervous system, right? Like the internet isn't novel, at least in my mind, right? It's an inevitability. If you look at fungal networks, they have an internet, right? You just think about that. There's like a massive fungus, I think it's called like the honeycap. Is it honeycap? Honeycap mushroom, which is one of the largest entities on our earth, right? And they communicate with these literal, you know, underground networks with one another. They know when things are walking on top of them. They communicate with one another, they share nutrients, they share resources, essentially, right? And the internet has allowed us to do that as well. You, friends, can share resources with me on the other side of the planet, and you do. And because you are willing to share those resources with me, I get to experience a different quality of life. I get to buy these microphones, right? Despite the fact that the wind has been washing over me this whole time, we haven't had on the audio this whole time. And that's the way it used to be. And because of this interconnectivity that we have, you friends literally get to benefit me as I'm trying to do the same for you friends, right? And that's how I see these technologies being used, because that's how we're choosing to use them, right? That's what we're dreaming. That's the future we're dreaming about, not the one of exploitation. I read the news. I read the news. I don't really care for all of these headlines these days. I really like knowing what's going on in the world. It can be good, bad, or neutral, but I just feel like I need the information. It's nice to feel informed, right? It allows you a sense of control, right? It's like, oh, I have control over what I know, and then exposing yourself to that information. But unfortunately, at the same time, it can also make you feel like you don't have control over the things that you know. So I will judge the truth for myself, present the headlines. On that note, something got pointed out to me today, that the Republicans in Congress are up to some shit. The media says Congress when it's Democrats. They're called out directly. Yeah, the central nervous system is aware, dude. It's paying attention, paying a lot of attention. Yummy estrogens, deadly honey cap, and big brain mushy. Yeah, super big brain, right? Like it understands things probably. Okay, I'm kind of cold. Like the wind has been chilling me down this whole time. Let's pull a card, see what sacred geometry has to say, and then again remind ourselves to dream of a better future. To be not from a place of ignoring what's happening right now, but from a place of comparison. Where have we been? Where have we come from? And where are we going? Let's see. Let's see if we get a card. Lots of estrogen today. Nice. I'm feeling it. I'm definitely feeling it. It's making me feel a little bit rattled. Nothing to fear. We can dream about a good world. And it will be here soon enough. This one right here. Yeah. Yeah. Passion flower. The passion flower. Look at those hands cradling all of that flower. Oh, we did. I mean, it's not a cardinal, but we did have a little Burby, a red, chested Burby joining us in the start of the stream as well. Alrighty then. Card number 45, the passion flower. Core meaning, appreciation and awareness, right? Again, finding gratitude, humility, and gratitude within ourselves for where we are right now. Realizing that people from 100 years ago are literally dreaming about being where you are right now. And feeling that, being appreciative of that fact. I did pull it reversed, and it goes, look within and discover ways to nurture your passion. Remember to cultivate an attitude of appreciation. How are Christian and Johan doing, Mel? Actually, Christian sent me a message this morning. They're doing well. They did say they want to come over at some point, but alas, I am waiting. All right. I am not the one with a vehicle. Both of them have cars, but I guess it's hard for them to get here. Embedded within this image is the beautiful configuration known as the flower of life. One of my favorite symbols, right? Those little thingies, those little leaves spiraling out, flowers of life. It is made up of 19 interlocking circles that represents a lattice of pure life force. A brightly colored cardinal, torch ginger, and in the center, a passion flower calls upon you to recognize and appreciate the perfection of nature and the beauty that lies within you. Two hands cradle and dynamically energize this card. This is a prayer of appreciation and a call to awareness. Gaze at the center of this informational pattern and the passion flower at its core. Allow this life force to activate an attitude of appreciation and for it to fill your awareness with exactly what you need to know at this moment. Feel how that recognition affects you, body, mind, and spirit. Appreciation is recognition of the divine nature of everything. That's a hard one, right? It's so hard. It's so hard to take that at face value because technically all of the nonsense we're experiencing right now is still divine nature. So again, appreciation is recognition of the divine nature of everything, including the direction your life is taking at this time. Recognize the value of your chosen path. Recognize the value of your chosen path, your dream. Become aware of how your passion is flowering. Recognize the evolution of your visionary path and hold dear the feeling of what it's like to follow your bliss. That's some skip bop. Hey, Kristen, sending a love and stew. Passion flower named so because the flower represents the thorny crown and have many petals as the apostles. Thank you for sharing that with us, Shell. People on their own trips doesn't mean they love you any less. Agreed. I know that, right? I do know that. I agree. I know, right? I do know that. You're right. You are right, Joy. It just trips me out, right? It trips me out how we get into these own trips, right? And then we end up making ourselves more and more upset because that's what I'm seeing as well, right? Like that's actually the joke. I don't know if it's very funny, but that's the joke that I'm seeing of like just like a deep sense of things aren't great, you know. I feel so disconnected from my community. And I'm like, are you connecting with your community? No. I'm like, oh, surprise, surprise. And the consequences of our own actions. Oh, the card looks like a cloud. Like clouds or water. Neither. It's a flower on a flower with flowers, with lightning strikes and hands cradling, with little swoopies coming all around. It's a beautiful card. It's one of my favorites as well. Appreciation is a big one. Mr. Shell was pretty stoked for Koji yesterday. I didn't have a chance to tell you. Thank you, Shell, for sharing that, celebration of Koji's life with us as well. You see, I'm cold. Path is super duper slow now, and they're behind Tortoise. Yeah. Love the contemplation that these cards bring. Thank you for paying attention. I don't always reach out, but I tell my friends that if they get an alert every time I thought of them, their phones would be blowing up with notifications. Me too, Joy. Like, I do actually look forward to having a chip in my brain so that I can do that, right? I can just send you a notification because it doesn't have to be a lot, right? It can just be like, hey, Melt thinks loving thoughts about you, right? And you can see that. You don't have to reply. You don't have to say anything. You just get to know that, right? And I feel like if all of us connect in that way, where when people are thinking loving things about you, when people are trying to uplift you, you have like a catalog of this, like upliftment actively happening in your heart and your soul, that surely is going to allow us to dream about even better worlds. Maybe I think of you when you think of me, Joy. I think about that too, Shell. I wonder about how many synchronicities there are, Joe. But I saw an email notification from Discord from you from December 2021, the day I joined Melt's Discord. And I just love you so much. Love is true. Your friends make me happy. Let's play some Kalimba. Weirdly enough, I feel almost too spazzy to play Kalimba right now, but I feel like that's exactly why I should be playing some Kalimba. To get all of that spaz out. Oh man, look at the goose bumpers. Yeah, you can see it. I'm freezing. That's a wild thought. I think about how much love and time we've all spent together, right? Logging the hours, logging the hours, right? Going towards the future we want to be in. Do we want to live in a future where we love one another or not, right? And then gathering evidence for which future you want to be in by showing up. Showing up for those hours, for the experiences you actually want. There we go. Let's turn this on. Skibop. Wow, that's a timesheet I'd like to fill out. Love timesheet, yeah. Right? At the end of the day, you just see like 50 entries of people loving me. Like, that's so cool. But unfortunately, that's gonna come with the whole fractal of like, oh, yesterday I got 50 love-ins, and today I only got 44 love-ins. Oh, we're gonna have to figure out how to still love ourselves, unfortunately, right? To not let ourselves be influenced. I lost count, it's okay, ciao. Each and every one of you have been paramount in my evolution. All of us, Brother Joshua. There is no separation, right? We are in this moment, all of us intertwined in this moment, having been born at different times throughout our lives, right? And yet still in this present moment. I remember your dad saying that we sit around and say nice things. And so what? Yeah, that is the way he sees it. It's like, oh, you think that's gonna make a difference? You think that's gonna change the world? I'm like, bro, it's changed mine. No, it's changed other people's worlds. You know, call me crazy, but it's literally changing worlds, bro. Made me mad because yeah, I think it's wonderful that we come here every day and say nice things to each other. Oh yeah, oh it made me mad too, Joy. Right? I fight against the machine because a lot of people don't think that there's any value in that, right? That is the joke that we're being faced with right now as a society. Is some people unironically don't think that there's anything to be gained from just giving love to people. They're like, but what about money? I'm like, oh, money doesn't mean jack shit if people don't love one another, yo. Right? Like we literally kill one another for money. We don't kill one another for love. Right? Or at least not statistically. Okay. The katlachters are katlaching. You want to sit on my lap? We have a puppy joining us too. You want to sit on my lap? Come on. Come. Come on. She wants to play with me. That's what's happening right now. I'm going to play with you right now. I'm going to play kalimba. I'm playing kalimba. You can come and sit on my lap. It's like, no, let's do the play thing. No play. No play. Not gonna play. No. No, puppy. No. Whatever. She's like, what's happening right now? Come here. You want to sit on that? You're causing me anxiety when you're like standing there ready for action. I'm gonna try and catch her. I got you. There you go. Relax. Squeezing herself. Standing on the other side. Okay. Let's see if I can try and kalimba because now she's like, bro, come on, do that thing. Do that thing where you give me all of your attention. Me jealous. Me so jealous. Okay, please. I'm trying to gather myself. The wind is not helping. Let's go. Done. I feel that did actually calm me down. I couldn't help but listen to the amount of chaos that's just bird sound. It is turning into summer again. I feel like it's almost uncharacteristically cold. I'm still getting a goosebumped, but I'm surviving. I get overwhelmed. There's so many loving and beloved entities here. Me too, Joshmo. It's like it's almost too much to handle. And then I realize, wait a second, I'm supposed to be consciously evolving to handle it. Because that's the reality we're dreaming about. Where people are so loving, you have to get good at accepting the sheer force of love actively washing over you. All right? Have hope. Have hope because there is you. There is you existing right now. Did I miss a few? Creative critters to the wholesomest you animals. I love you so much, bless. Seriously, y'all have witnessed my heartbreak and my heartaches and my healing and my success. And you're a part of this healing and enabling me to see the truth about me and you. Oh gosh, gosh, to you too. Pookies, I love to you. Basically, joy. It turns out that saying nice things is what we're made for, and bad words are poison to us. Yeah, it's like again, right? Anger does more harm to the vessel it's carried in than the thing you're putting it on. Essentially, mm, here we do, here we do a cleanse melting away those layers of bullshit every day, little by little. Actually feels good to not have my past discord. Makes my brain go, huh, did I need that past word? Not really. Growing, actively becoming a new version of ourselves, shall kind of oils over the hillside and reaches the sea. Molten manifestation. The soapy good love. Go and play, my friends. The world is your sandbox. I'm convinced. I manifest the books I find at the thrift store. I want a subject, and there it is. Can't wait to go today. Blessings. I hope you manifest exactly what you need. I had to curb my thrift book addiction, shell. My house is small, and I only have so many bookshelves. Sounds like a nice problem to have, right? I'm sure there are people 1,000 years from today into the past that would have given anything to have just one book. You friends have so many, you can't deal with all of them. Is that a blue K we're seeing? The flower of life is cannabis, and the flower helps us all connect way more and in deeper, meaningful way, spiritually. The burning bush was cannabis, and that's how they used to burn flowers. Either it was cannabis or it was the acacia tree. You know, they might have been smoking DMT as well. I wouldn't put that past them, blue K. Oh, I'm freezing. I'm gonna say, have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I sincerely love you all. So, very super duper, extremely, enormously, elephantinely, elephantinely, elephant, anally, elephantinally. There we go. I got it. Extremely, enormously, elephantinally. Extremely, enormously, elephantinally, gargantuanly, galactically, dearly melt. And all of you oh so very, very wonderfully, amazingly, fantastically, smashingly, invigoratingly, miraculously, mesmerizingly, gorgeously, radiantly magical divine friends. As we love you, dear Shan. It sure is blue. Love is true. I thank you for joining me again, for sharing this moment, for consciously evolving, and for being willing to dream about a better world for all of us. I'm proud of you, friends, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Tomorrow. Blessings to you. Goodbye now. Mwah. Love you.